Welcome to the Post-Purchase Pro podcast.
This is the only podcast that dives deep into post-purchase marketing to help Amazon sellers increase sales, ranking, reviews, and profits. It's everything that happens after the initial sale that makes a difference. We call this the back end. Indeed, the back end, Seth. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the front end of the post-purchase podcast, Sean. So today, Sean, we have a very special guest as always, but this one really stirs me up because we're talking about external traffic. So we want to welcome Tyler Gregg, head of operations at Amped. You guys have some amazing things going on. I actually saw a presentation that you guys gave at the $1 Billion Seller Summit recently, and I was like, oh my gosh, we have to get you guys on the podcast because you guys speak our language. You understand what Amazon's looking for right now, and you guys are definitely doing something a little different than most people out there. So welcome, Tyler.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much for having me, and excited to join today and provide some kind of guidance and tips and tricks, I guess, on how to get Google ads done profitably for Amazon, because it's not easy by any means, and we've been doing it for 7+ years. So excited to share some of that knowledge that we've accumulated. It's taken us a long time to learn, for sure, but hopefully our struggles over 7 years can lead to Amazon brands much quicker learning curves.
Absolutely. So Tyler, like Seth said, thank you for taking the time out. One of the things that I want to bring up, like you and I are in the same category of the same mind, Tyler, when we talk about the importance of external traffic, specifically for Amazon sellers, and the fact that now this comes out of your mouth, you've seen over 20K Google to Amazon campaigns, and that gives you a unique understanding of what products and strategies drive the best results. So just to put that out there for folks, think about it. 20,000 Google to Amazon campaigns Tyler has exposure to. I think that's a little bit of overkill when it comes to experience, Tyler. So can you take us back to the beginning and tell us why, if you would, why was Amped created?
Sure. So Amped was actually created about 7 years ago. And at first we started building a data science engine for Google ads to D2C. At the time, Amazon attribution was nothing. No one was thinking about external traffic to Amazon really at scale. And so we were building a data science engine to help D2C, large enterprise D2C brands efficiently and effectively manage their Google ads data. And so we sold into larger enterprises, and it's a lot more fun working with Amazon brands, I gotta say. More entrepreneurial, much quicker pace and all that stuff. But what we built was this powerful engine. And about 2 years ago, we started saying, okay, well, we're helping large companies, but how do we help those SMBs? How do we help them, tap into Google ads? And we started by actually building a Shopify app and a BigCommerce app. And we started, campaign creation, campaign optimization to Shopify and BigCommerce. And it was a ton of fun. I worked with a lot of brands, but what we saw was you could nail the Google ad side, the keywords, the ad copy, the quality score, and all that. But then they would get to a Shopify page that just wasn't converting. And I know a lot of Amazon brands feel this pain. They want to sell D2C, but it just doesn't have the same conversion rates that Amazon has for a lot of reasons. First off, Amazon's Amazon. People trust it. They've got their 2-day shipping. It's free shipping, all that good stuff. Whereas a Shopify store, you don't know who the brand is. You don't know if you want to give them your credit card. You also don't want to pay $15 for a week-long shipping. There's a lot of reasons why Shopify struggles to get the same conversion rates that Amazon has. So about 2 years ago, we were kind of looking around going, okay, what if we sent this traffic to the best converting website in the world, which is Amazon, right? You get traffic to a product listing page, it converts. How do you get more traffic there? Google Ads is a great way to do it because of the buying intent behind searches. People are telling Google, I want to buy a crystal whiskey glass. I want to buy an iPhone case. They're telling Google that, right? So now Amazon brands can put their ad right there when someone asks for their product and get it over to their products on Amazon. So about 2 years ago, we started partnering with Amazon ads, and we went through an alpha and beta testing for about 6 to 9 months. And that was actually not even tracking conversions. That was just sending traffic in and seeing if it was impacting ranking. And it was very, very conclusive that external traffic was impacting ranking. And
Wow.
then about a year ago, a little over a year ago, it was September of last year, we did our full connection to Amazon attribution with our partnership with Amazon. And then that's when we actually connected the dots fully, and we're able to do Google to Amazon with full keyword level attribution to actually see your ACOS, get your 10% brand referral bonus, but also, try to drive the ranking and lift that kind of that halo impact as you bring in external traffic.
Well, we're going to dive in a moment, unpack some of that. And Seth's got a great question coming up. But before we do, let me share something. Hey there, it's Sean Hart. If you found the information on the Post-Purchase Podcast useful and impactful for your business, do us a favor and your colleagues a favor. Share this, like us, and let others know how to find us on your social channels. We'd sure appreciate you. Now let's get back to the show. Thank you.
So, Tyler, Sean and I have been in the Amazon space for a long time, and we've been driving traffic from all the places that you could possibly imagine. And what we've seen for a long time is what you guys have figured out as well, is that if you can take traffic from an external source and land it on your Amazon listing, Amazon sees that and they reward it because they want to reward listings that are attracting new customers to their site, and they move you up in the keyword rankings, which then results in a lot more future sales. We do that with email and text marketing. You guys do it with Google. When you were giving your presentation, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just another lever that we can pull for external traffic. So let me ask you this question. What question do you wish all Amazon sellers would ask themselves before they start running paid external traffic?
Yeah, definitely. I'll answer this question, but I want to circle back onto what you were just saying about you driving external traffic and your rankings go up. We have some data that it kind of explains some of the logic behind that as well. But I'll answer your question here of what question should brands ask. Really, the question that should be asked is my product well suited for Google Ads? Not every product is well suited for Google Ads. And we unfortunately see this in the market. We did it a year ago where we said, hey, just try it. Like, let's see what happens. We now know what products are pretty well suited and what ones aren't. As Sean mentioned earlier, over 20,000 campaigns from Google to Amazon. We've learned. We kind of can look at a product. We can look at some data and say, hey, it's worth a test, or hey, stay away from this product. It's probably not going to do very well on Google Ads. And I know more and more, companies and folks are trying to do this Google to Amazon thing. And I see them kind of making this mistake of like, oh, just try every single product. Don't do that. Don't do that. Come ask Amped, and we can kind of try to guide you through that process, especially if you have a larger catalog. Some of your products are going to crush it on Google. Some of them are going to flop. And because we've done this for so long, we can try to help you avoid some of those flops and basically double down out of the gates. And so we have some kind of science behind it, some logic in terms of helping our brands really pick the right products.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that. So let me ask you this one, Tyler. So a lot of times we talk about, before and after, what happened, when we first started implementing different campaigns. Like Seth and I do email marketing. And so we all have these like winning case studies or war stories, if you will. It was like, this is what happened when you did it wrong. Here's what happened when we got it right. So if you don't mind, Tyler, with respect to Amped, can you talk about a case study, like a big win that you've seen and or a war story?
Yeah, I'll give a couple examples here, and they're kind of two different use cases. One example, a brand came in actually through their agency. We work really well with agencies, but they came in and they just started sending traffic in. And through their campaign creation process inside our platform, they were able to very quickly get high quality traffic. And that's the most important thing with Google, is it needs to be high quality traffic. You can't just throw bad traffic at a listing page. It needs to be good traffic. And this brand came in and we had a touch base with them in about 1 month in. And we're looking at their campaigns beforehand going, okay, there's some signs of life. They're about 100. I think they're at like 120% ACOS, which is not the end of the world for your first month because you're learning, but also, compared to Amazon ads, probably not incredible, right? And so, we were ready to get on the call, kind of talk through what we were seeing, what opportunities there were, where we needed to move away from. And they got on, they're like, guys, this is incredible. And we're like, what, tell me more. And he's like, first month, our organic rankings, our organic sales went up 17%.
Wow.
And we didn't change anything. We kept everything the exact same. And the only thing we changed was this Google Ads investment. And that's very consistent to what we see. We try to teach our brands, you want to be around or below that 100% ACoS threshold, because that's when we kind of see this or continuously hear this halo effect impact to where ranking goes up, sales go up, and you're not just throwing bad traffic. That kind of seems to be the leading indicator that it's good quality traffic coming in. So those stories we'd love to hear. We followed up with that guy another month later. And in month 2 of Google Ads, he went up another 13% in total sales. So in 2 months, he went up 30% in total sales, and he only changed one variable, which was Google Ads. And so that's what we really try to teach our brands is ACoS is important for sure, but it's a leading indicator. It indicates how good a quality the traffic is. And what happens here is, not to get too sidetracked from the question, but what's happening is when you bring in good quality traffic, hopefully they're buying your products, but they're buying something from Amazon, right? Like you guys, everyone's guilty of it. You go into Amazon for one thing and then you leave with a cart full of stuff. Probably you might even bought a bunch of groceries, right? And we actually know this. We know this from our data.
You're not alone.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't stand it. I told the guys yesterday, I said, look, I need to return this Apple computer. All right. Can you just send FedEx to my house to pick this stupid thing up that's not working? Because every time I send my wife to the mall to return the computer, she comes home with $400 or $500 worth of Victoria's Secrets and Lululemon leggings. Can you help me? And they said, no, that's part of the process. So we have to get them in the store, right?
Exactly. And I mean, you can tell your wife this data, but when we started, before we even did attribution, we used the old Amazon affiliate links. And for anyone who's not familiar with the affiliate links, they allow affiliates to send traffic in, track the sales, and they get their 2 or 3% commission or whatnot. But
music to your ears, right, Seth?
But what affiliate links do different than attribution links is affiliates reveal every product purchased on Amazon within a certain time window, whereas attribution links only reveal what products were purchased from your brand. And so when we were doing the affiliate links, we would send the traffic in, and 30% of the time someone clicked on our Google campaign, they would buy something from Amazon. So 30% conversion rates.
Wow.
And so that data,
converting website in the world, like you said.
Exactly. And so Amazon knows that, right? So they know if you bring in traffic, even if they don't buy your product, they're buying something else from Amazon's marketplace. And that's Amazon doesn't care about the brand, right? They care about getting more sales for the most part.
We fight this all the time, Tyler. It's ridiculous. We do follow-up marketing for Amazon sellers at Post Purchase Pro, and a lot of people say, why would someone else want to buy more of my product? Why would I want to send more traffic back to Amazon? Like, they already purchased my widget. But Amazon shoppers are Amazon shoppers. We're going to continue to buy. Do you think they're going to leave Amazon after they purchase your widget and never show up again? All we need to do is be top of mind and be there ready and willing to sell another one of our products or something else in our brand line when that customer makes the decision, and they will make the decision to buy a replacement or refer to a friend or buy a gift or something like that. And it drives us crazy. So we always like to say, as a seller, it's not my job to answer the question, right? It's my job to ask the question. Let the customer answer the question, Tyler.
Yep. Yeah, that's very, very well said. And so that's why the ranking goes up, right? Is you get good traffic in there. That traffic buys stuff from Amazon. Amazon says, hey, keep bringing this traffic in here because it's doing what we want, right? And so we always say, hey, you got to bring in good quality traffic. I digress. Getting back to the case studies that you actually asked about. Another case study that we had, and I know we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but we really, really recommend to our brands is using Amazon Storefronts as a landing page. Product listings can work really well, but when you set up your Amazon landing page to basically mirror your product listing, where you've got the product front and center, you've got the add to cart button there, so the page is transactional, all of a sudden we see that conversion rates can be 2 to 3 times better because there's no competition, right? You've replicated your product listing page, you've front loaded your A+ content, and you've completely removed all the competition. So we love Amazon storefronts. And I talk about this a lot because I just continue to have these conversations, even with multi-million-dollar sellers, that they have no idea that they can make their Amazon storefront page transactional. And we actually hired a guy who spent 10 years at Amazon. And I was telling him this, and he's like, well, the reason is we teach our brands, make your storefronts lifestyle images, make them nice and pretty and clean and neat, and beautiful. And that we don't teach them to make them transactional, because Amazon wants people to be on the listing pages where there's a million different options to buy, right? But you can make your Amazon storefronts transactional, and you can make them look a lot like your listing pages, but no competition. So it improves conversion rates. And so the case study, go for it, Seth.
Oh, Seth is ready he's chomping at the bit.
Well, Tyler, I think that what you're saying there is like a massive gold nugget. Is if you make your storefront transactional, you said that your conversion rate is going to be 2 to 3 times greater than if you just drop them onto your regular listing, because the traffic can get lost to competitors. You've seen all these sponsored ads on your listing. Other listings or other products are suggested to your shoppers that you paid to get there, and Amazon's monetizing them in other ways. So Tyler, would you recommend anybody running external traffic to drop them onto a storefront page that you've made transactional for a particular product?
For the most part, yes. We see like 95% of the time they convert 2 to 3 times better storefront pages than product listings. Product listings can convert really well, right? It's a product listing page. You guys know that it converts, right? So getting more traffic there is always beneficial. But if you can build your storefronts to be transactional, we definitely recommend it. One of the case studies that we have is we had an aggregator who, a little bit more red lines to start a new service. So they're like, hey, we're not going to be able to get started for another 2 weeks. Like, let's talk in 2 weeks. And I said, hey, wait, actually, why don't you guys go build storefront landing pages for all the products that you guys are thinking about in this 2-week period, instead of just sitting around? Let's get this ready. And so they did. And so when they launched, they hit the ground running, and it was the fastest example where I've seen the direct ACoS get down into the 20% in the first 2 weeks. Normally it takes 2 to 3 months, because you got to learn, you got to collect the data, you've got to make the right data-driven decisions. But they were able to just right out of the gates hit the ground running, because they had really clean landing pages to accept and to sell this traffic. And one of the things that I think that was just the question is like, what do people get wrong? But your Google ad is you're not selling with your Google ad. You're qualifying with your Google ad. Yeah, there's the question. I'll answer this question. We see this all the time, to where people try to make their ad where they sell. It's like money back guarantee, best price on Amazon, all this stuff that they're trying to sell. You shouldn't be selling on your ad. You should be qualifying on your ad and selling on your landing page, right? And so when you try to like get clickbaity things in your ad headlines, you get unqualified traffic that's just looking for a money back guarantee or the best price or something like that. And you don't get someone who's actually serious about buying your product.
So
you end up paying for ads that will never convert. Then you get more traffic to your listing than is really reasonable, and your conversion rate suffers, I'm sure. So Tyler, here's a question for you before we move into the last part of our show. If there's one thing, one thought, or one idea that you'd like our listeners to take away today, what would that be?
Hey, Tyler, before you answer that amazing question, let me squeeze in one more station identity here, all right? As you know, Seth and I don't sell anything on the show at the Post-Purchase Podcast. So why don't you do us a favor right now? If you'll just go to your favorite podcast platform and just like us and review us, write us a review, give us a star rating. We'd sure appreciate it, and it will help other entrepreneurs like you easily find our show. Thank you. All right, Tyler, there's your question.
Perfect. You gave me some time to think about a good answer here. One takeaway I would encourage Amazon sellers to think about is how do you build your brand instead of just moving more product? And I think when I think about Amazon for the last 5 years, it's been this like race to sell as much product as possible, race to become $1 million seller, race to become a multi-million-dollar seller, and race to be at the top of bestseller lists, right? But I think this next evolution of selling on Amazon is going to be very brand focused, especially, as we kind of went through phase one of, selling your Amazon brand to aggregators. Now that market's cooled off a little bit, it's going to come back, right? This is America. It's going to happen again.
We had a previous guest today that called this the post aggregator, pre-aggregator, post aggregator. So this is going to become cliche. So stick with it.
Exactly. We're post aggregator, but we're also pre-aggregator. Like, we know that cycle is going to come back around because it's America, right? Like, people are going to start doing that again. And I think the next iteration of it is aggregators are going to be much more into buying brands versus buying products, right? And I think a lot of that happened the first round. It was just buying products that were selling a lot. So if you can position yourself to, have a brand, to be building that brand, it's a great opportunity to set yourself up for success 2 months, 2 years down the road. I think for Amazon sellers, everyone's thinking, what's next month look like? What's next quarter look like? But Amazon's going to be here, right? Well, you need to start thinking about what does 1 to 2 years down the road look like. Additionally, Amazon's doing so many things to encourage you to build a brand, right? Like, you now have Amazon storefronts. Can you imagine 5 or 10 years ago being allowed to have like a branded area on Amazon.com? No way. No way, right? And now all of a sudden you can. And they're doing their 10% brand referral bonus, which all of a sudden makes an Amazon storefront pretty similar to a Shopify store, right? On Shopify, it's all your brand, but no conversion rates. And it's 3% seller fees or whatever. Now, all of a sudden on Amazon, you can replicate your Shopify storefront within Amazon's conversion rate system, conversion engine system. And then your 10% brand referral bonus brings your 15% seller fees down to 5%. So now that's very, very, very comparable to what a Shopify experience looks like. And then additionally, it's still early days, I know, but that follow button on Amazon storefronts, anyone who follows your brand, you can market to. You can send templated emails to try to resell them, to encourage them to buy multiple products, buy more products again. It helps with product relaunches. I know it's early, but it's basically, it's so much easier for a consumer to hit follow than it is for a consumer to actually enter their email address on a Shopify store, right? So I'm pretty excited to see where that, a year from now, what does that look like? What features is Amazon giving brands to engage people that follow them? They're going to give you more features, right? If someone says, if you guys have a brand and I tell Amazon, I really like this brand, Amazon knows I'm going to buy a lot more stuff from you guys. So they're going to help you engage me, because
100%.
That means they're going to buy more from Amazon, right? Exactly. So I'm pretty excited to see what brands are able to do with the Amazon storefronts, how they're going to be able to use them to really grow their brand presence versus just moving more products. Moving more products is good. It's not a bad thing, but how do you move more product and also grow your brand?
Well, I'm glad that you echo our entire mantra here with the Post-Purchase Podcast and what we do for clients at Post-Purchase Pro, that the value of your business boils down to the brand, the customer that you serve, not necessarily the widget that you're importing from China or selling on Amazon, right? So Seth and I, as you already know, Tyler, we're huge proponents of building that asset, that loyalty. And that loyalty at scale becomes what is known as a brand. And that's where the true value is, especially when we get to this pre-aggregator phase again that's coming around. So talking all this business in this shop and making money, losing money, and trying to leverage every asset that we can to grow our business, we want to transition now into the final phase of our show. And Tyler, that is, we have a couple of fun questions to ask you that you did not to get to preview before the show, right? And the first question I want to ask you is, what is Tyler's all-time favorite business book?
Oh man, I've talked about this. Yeah, there you go. My private label book. Yep, I still have that. It's not on this desk. It's in my room.
I'm still waiting on that 5-star review. Just saying.
I picked it up at one of the conferences we were at earlier this year. Favorite book is Essentialism. Have you guys read Essentialism?
I have not.
I have. Yes.
Yeah.
Another one you didn't recommend to your brother.
Yeah, it's I try to read it once a year. I was just telling someone else recently, like I really need to read it once a month. What it's about is basically dividing everything in your work life, in your personal life, of what's essential and what's not essential. Yep, that's it. Yep, what's essential and what isn't essential, because you do a lot of crap during your day that is not essential. You think it is, you think it's important, but if you take a step back and actually categorized it, you'd go, man, if I didn't do that, my business would still be running.
Seth,
right?
There's no way you can claim you read that. I know you. You need to read it again.
I read it, and then, for 3 weeks afterwards, I'm dedicated to it. I'm disciplined, and my life is great. I get more time off of my laptop and all that stuff. And then I fall back into old habits. So I need to read it more like once a month. And it sounds like Seth does too.
Well, Seth just says like this. He sums it up in this motto. He says, I only do the things that I enjoy doing. Which is basically cashing checks and sending invoices. So
there you go.
There you go. I like doing those things too.
I love it. So Tyler, we have one more fun question here. What is something that you've purchased that you would consider a splurge, but you did not regret it?
Oh man. I do a pretty good job of not splurging on things.
You had to break sometime.
Yeah, I bought a very expensive exercise bike to put in my my condo here, and it was very expensive. And at the time, I was like, man, am I actually going to use this? Like, I can go 10 floors downstairs, and I've got a gym that has an exercise bike. Do I really need this?
Yeah.
But man, it has made all the difference to just be able to jump off the laptop, go bike for 30, 45 minutes, and then be right back on. And it saved a ton of time. I no longer have that whole, got to go downstairs, all that stuff.
Right.
So
just avoided the commute.
Yep. Exactly. I avoided the 3-minute commute.
Well, it's just like a swimming pool or a tanning bed or anything else. The closer it is to your house, the more you're going to use it. We made the mistake of putting a swimming pool way on the end of our property, and no one ever got in it. But if you can walk out of your master bedroom and jump in, it's something you use every day. So, yeah, really fun there. Sometimes we hear yachts. Sometimes we hear ping pong tables. Seth, he bought a ping pong table that he loved. So thank you for sharing that. So if you want to learn more about what Tyler's doing, you can go to amped.io. For those of you listening, not watching, it's AMPD, Alpha Mike Papa Delta.io, India Oscar, right? Amp.io, or simply just email Tyler, Tyler, Tyler at amped.io. Tyler, been such a pleasure hanging out with you here today. Seth is going to do his outro thing here, and then we'll get out of here. But hang out. We're going to chat with you after the show, Seth.
Tyler, do you have any final words of wisdom for the audience as we jump out of here?
Yeah, definitely. I really appreciate you guys having me on. Always enjoy talking about the brand building side of Amazon. I know it's new to a lot of brand sellers. And the only thing I would say, word of wisdom, if you do reach out to me at Tyler at amp.io, make sure you put post-purchase pro in the subject line. So I'll notice you guys, and I'll make sure I get back to you guys as quickly as I can.
I love it. Thanks for the plug, Tyler. God bless you, my friend. I'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks.